Have you ever looked at your paycheck, like the biggest one that you've ever earned, and still wondered where all the money went by the end of the month? Whether you're making 70,000, 100,000, or even more, that feeling of financial stress doesn't just magically disappear with the bigger salary. Hey, my name is Njadeka, and I have spent the last decade diving into why so many high income achievers still feel financially stretched thin. And the stories I'm about to share might surprise you. From professionals earning six figures who can't seem to save a dime, to families with household incomes well above average who still feel like they're just treading water. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to discover the 3 hidden money traps that high earners fall into, and if that's you, the exact order that you need to tackle your finances to finally feel wealthy instead of feeling worried. So, I recently came across a podcast interview with a couple named Brian and Morgan. Brian was a surgeon making over $380,000 a year. The interviewer asked them about their finances, and what they said might sound familiar. So they said, "We make great money, but we still feel broke." And what's fascinating about their story is that Brian didn't start earning his surgeon salary until he was age 40. Before that, he spent years grinding through medical school, residency, and specialized training while accumulating debt. So by the time the big paycheck starts to come in, the two of them had lifestyle expectations, they had financial commitments, and honestly, some money habits that just were not serving them. In the interview, Morgan even shared something really powerful. She said, "I think that was the saddest part, seeing our salary and realizing we had so much debt. It just didn't feel good, and the money didn't fix the problem." So does that sound familiar to you? Maybe you're in a similar situation, good income on paper, but somehow it never feels like enough. Well, so here's what the research is showing us. The median household income in America is around 70,000, but 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, here's the kicker. 47% of people making between 150,000 and 200,000 also report living paycheck to paycheck. And even 30% of those making over 200,000 feel the same way. So the question becomes, what's really going on? I have identified 3 major traps that high income earners fall into. The first and most dangerous trap is what financial experts call lifestyle creep. Here's how it works. Every time you get a raise or a promotion, your standard of living rises to match it. That luxury that used to feel special becomes your new normal. Soon, the things that you used to consider to be wants start to feel like absolute needs. The nicer neighborhood with the higher property taxes, the private school for your kids, luxury cars, high-end restaurants several times a week or several times a month, and these become your baseline. So in that same interview, at one point Morgan confessed, "We made 380,000 in a year and it was still like scrambling." She said, "We still couldn't do everything. I wasn't rolling around in money, and if anything, I was more scared because I wasted it and wasn't being intentional." Now that's the key phrase, wasn't being intentional, because when your income is high, it is easy to stop paying attention to where it's going. The second trap, especially for doctors, lawyers, and other professionals, is the delayed earnings timeline. So if you didn't start making your high income until your 30s or 40s, listen, you got some catching up to do. Because while your college friends went straight into business or went straight to a job and have been building wealth for 15 to 30 years, you've been accumulating student loans and living on a resident salary. Heck, by the time you finally start to earn, you might feel entitled to immediately live like your peers who have had a decade head start. But this creates tremendous pressure to spend rather than build your financial foundation. So in that podcast interview, Brian described getting his first big paycheck at the age of 40. He said, "I've never been so disappointed in 35,000. Heck, he expected at least 50,000 for his first month, plus signing bonus. But after taxes and deductions, it wasn't much left. Plus, they had already accrued debt in anticipation of this big payday." And this third trap is something that catches even the smartest professionals, and that is financial predation and unnecessary complexity. The truth is that when you start making good money, you become a target for a whole ecosystem of financial products designed to sound sophisticated while separating you from your wealth. So let me give you a couple of examples that I've seen. First, there's the world of the exclusive credit cards with the $500 annual fees that promise airport lounges and concierge services. Suddenly, you're paying for premium cards, premium bank accounts, and premium services across the board, often totaling thousands per year for benefits you rarely use. So then there are those complex tax shelters and investment vehicles that are sold as what the wealthy people do. These might include certain types of insurance, annuities, or exotic investment schemes that come with massive hidden fees and lockup periods. There's also the luxury tax trap. All that means is buying the premium version of everything from appliances to vacations to cars, each with extended warranties, insurance products, and service plans that rarely deliver value. So here's the pattern I've noticed. The financial industry intentionally makes things complex to justify their existence. And almost always, the more complex the product, the worse the deal is for you. And trust, this pattern repeats across industries, whether it's in tech, medicine, law, or business. So, what should you focus on first? So here is the exact order of operations for high income professionals who want to stop feeling broke. 1, create some conscious spending clarity. Before making any other moves, spend 2 to 3 weeks tracking exactly where your money is going. You cannot manage what you don't measure. And most high earners are shocked when they see their actual spending broken down by category. Secondly, eliminate your high interest debt. So pay off those credit cards, personal loans, and any other high interest debt immediately. And your high income can possibly make this happen quicker if you focus on it. Use lump sums like a refund check or that third pay period paycheck. Those things can allow you to pay off your consumer debt quicker, which could immediately free up hundreds in monthly cash flow. Next, build a proper emergency fund. So for high earners, this should be 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses, not your income. And you've heard this over and over again, so this shouldn't be new to you. This is going to prevent a lifestyle disruption in the case that your income changes. Next, maximize those tax advantaged accounts. So max out your 401k, HSA, and any other tax advantage options before doing anything else. Those tax savings alone make this a no-brainer. Also, simplify your investments first. Before chasing any complex alternative types of investing, focus on boring traditional investments that have built wealth for decades. I'm talking about the low-cost index funds, the quality blue chip stocks, and sensible real estate. The world's greatest investors like Warren Buffett got rich through patience and simplicity, not complexity. Only after you've mastered the basics should you even consider alternatives. And even then, be skeptical of anything that cannot be explained in a simple way. Because remember, people get wealthy off of steady, consistent, boring investing every single day. Oh, and if you remember what I mentioned earlier about being intentional, that's the key difference between high earners who feel broke and those who feel wealthy. It's rarely about the actual income number. So I can have clients who make $70,000 but are debt-free and intentional with their spending that can often have a higher net worth and feel more financially secure than those making $200,000 with a fancy car and mortgages that they can barely afford. So, if you found this video to be helpful and you're also wondering why your professional expertise isn't translating into income, check out my next video on why your professional credentials are not translating to business success and what you need to do about it. In that episode, I break down the disconnect between expertise and entrepreneurship, and I give you actionable steps to bridge that gap. So hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching, and remember, it is not about what you make, it's about what you keep and how intentional you are with it.